Yeah, the Delta variant and all of that down here has just been.
Good evening, folks. 30 seconds to showtime. Grab your seat, leave your drinks to the bar. Hold your breath, put your hands together. We present Sandra Bay's finest star, who has danced with the Mary Guinea, who has dined with the Queen of Vermont. We trace the voyages of Sinbad, corresponded with the men who can't live us to be. C'est pas la même chose que la vache qui rit. Et la vache est pas mon ami.
And hello! Welcome once again to another episode of The G Spot. My name is Geoff with the G. This is where I like to talk to a lot of fun and interesting people, and tonight is no exception. I am talking with the immensely talented and quite lovely DIckulous. How are you doing, Ree?
I'm doing great. How are you, Geoff?
I'm making it work, man. That's all we can do is making it work.
Yep. One day at a time. I hear you, brother.
Yeah. So for people who aren't aware, as far as like how we know each other and who Ree is a sideshow performer. Sword Swallower is how I met you initially.
Yep.
We met at the Great Southern Sideshow Hootenanny, which is of course like a cause near and dear to my heart, as everybody knows, like watching any of my shit. And I think we met the first year I went, which was the 2018.
Sounds
right.
right.
Think about because I was going. Well, 2020 did happen, but that's right before everything shut down. But we didn't have 2021. We're not having 2021. So I went, and so we had a chance to meet briefly.
I didn't come down for the last one.
Yeah.
Because everything, but then I just remember I had another job that I was working at, and I had a couple of like Chinese coworkers, and there were a bunch of other coworkers that we had that were like making stupid Corona jokes, and me and my Chinese coworkers were all like, no, this is going to be bad. Like, y'all have no fucking idea. And so here we are.
Yeah, still dealing with it because people are dumb.
Vaccines, no vaccines.
Yeah. We could have had this fixed like 6 months ago if people just stayed the course, but no, of course not.
Makes me envious of my Australian friends.
New Zealand, even more so. I mean, just.
Oh my God, yeah.
No, it's great. Hey Lex, what's going on? Lex Andrews in the chat.
Hey Lex, hi.
Yeah. I chatted with them actually earlier today because we were discussing some stuff, and so it's good to see them in the chat. So Lex is good people. So I like doing this.
Lex and I got a chance to meet once upon a time. I remember seeing them sword swallow and then have a fireball off the top of the sword that they were swallowing with I think it was Cilantro the Clown, something like that.
Oh yeah, that sounds right. Those are all people that would know each other.
Yep. All of these things track. Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's so funny because the life that I live, like, it makes sense that all of these different people like pass by and connect with each other and all this. And it's wild too, like the different circumstances in which I end up meeting them, because I try to, like, it's not just sideshow, like my life, but I also do like all of the kinky shit. So the BDSM fetish shit, and those worlds, no surprise, they kind of like intermingle with one another. But a lot of overlay. But I'm a part of the glass making world too. So I have people from all three different circles that kind of overlap in different ways. I think that's the only reason that I've been successful, is because each one of them is curious about the other.
That's fair. Yeah, no, it tracks. Well, mine for me, like sideshow, but because I work a lot of production routes and producing shows, I end up because I love lots of different things. So I end up knowing musicians. I love music and like interacting with music. And once upon a time, I was involved in the music industry. So I've always had a passion for it. And then, of course, I went to school for theater and film. So there's that circle.
That's so cool.
Burlesque and sideshow. So, yeah. I mean, the reason I'm doing this show, these shows, is because I went to school for theater and film, which includes television, so crafting shows. And so this is actually a thing. Weirdly enough, I went to school to do this. How often do we get to say that when going to college nowadays?
I know, right?
Just,
I feel actually, so this is my little brag here. I got my degree in education studies. The reason why was because I was like, there's a whole bunch of these classes that I'm going to, and I don't think that they're teaching it that way. And I was just so curious. I started taking more classes, and I was like, oh, I finally learned how I can just pick apart people's teaching styles and like what works and what doesn't. It was wild. Like all the kink classes that I was going to, all of the, like sideshow, etc., and so everything. I was just like, wow. But yeah, so being able to say like, yeah, every day I try and learn something new, and so I feel like I'm using my degree all the time and learn about other people's learning and how best to teach them.
that is very cool. Yeah, because you do teach some stuff. I think I've seen some stuff pop up before. So.
Yeah, I teach this rope bondage 101 type thing, and I like it. It's, from what people tell me, it's successful because people actually like remember and retain shit from it. So I consider that to be successful.
Rope bond or shibari for all those people who want to get on the know, to be with it, as it were. No, it's
Kinbaku,
yeah,
Jitsu.
It's fascinating. Like I find it like me. I have no desire to be trussed up, but I do find
Not
it
even
interesting.
escape bondage.
I'm not my gig, man.
Yeah,
like even then,
that's
it's
fair.
like I just like escapology is not my like I like watching it and being and seeing it, but as far as performing it, I think a lot of times when it comes to doing stuff as far as various stunts or tricks or magic or whatever I like to do is I try to figure out a way that makes it me, and so if I can't figure it
Yeah.
out, which really it's just incorporating all the different things I love. So like if I do like a mentalism or magic trick, I incorporate like live sideshow elements into it, where regardless is people are going to be entertained by it. So like doing card tricks, but using mouse traps and route traps as an example, where there's actually a real I get hurt doing the stuff, but there's still that element of suspense as far as the trick. But like for escapology, I just haven't figured out a thing for it yet. I think I've got something down to possibly do some glass walking. I've got to workshop it some. Now that I'm in a stable place and I have like a backyard where I can kind of workshop in, I probably will start doing that soon. Just because,
awesome.
Well, it's just like usually when it comes to sideshow stuff, I go, all right, cool, I'm gonna do it. When am I on stage again? All right, that's when I'm gonna do it. I know because I've figured out how to do it, but like if I do it beforehand and I don't like it, then the audience loses the real audience loses that real reaction, and so I know it's a weird sort of thing. So if I that's why I test it. Yeah,
I'm good for now. Thank you. Sorry, I'm getting chicken
food.
tendies.
That's really nice. I'm just gonna sit here and drink.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to continue on here too. I don't want to eat directly into the microphone necessarily, but I wanted to make sure that I wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't too much.
No, that's
all right.
But yeah, so like when figuring out like stunts and stuff like that to do, I want to make sure it's something I can do. Like first time I took a mouse trap, like real mouse trap, I did it live on stage. First time I ate glass was live on stage, and so on.
Wow.
It's just one of those. But I researched on how to do it so much. I went, all right, cool. I know everything to do and how it makes it work, and and also knew like if stuff goes wrong, how do I take care of that now? I always had that plan in my place.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, I didn't like go, all right, cool, I'm going to do a thing. I go, all right, cool, I'm going to eat glass. Here are the dangers of eating glass. If it runs into this sort of problem, this is how I need to treat it, be this way, that way. And that's why I wear jackets, so I have pockets where I can have, not only do the tricks, but sometimes the safety measures in case shit goes wrong. So
yeah.
But yeah, escapology has never been one of the things it's one of the things that just doesn't interest. I mean, I find it interesting to watch people do it. Just as me as performing it, I just haven't seen an interest for it as of yet. At some point, I'll
Still
find. I'll
could.
think. Yeah, I still could. At some point, I'll see like a specific, a specific type of cuff or shackle or something like that. Then I'll think, well, I can do a thing like this, and then I'll see. I'll marry things together to make it all work, so that way, it's mine versus like trying to rip off somebody else. But yeah. So
I'm so curious. What kind of mentalism stuff do you do?
well, had you been at the last Hootenanny, because I got to perform.
I mean, had there not been a pandemic that was looming upon us, also, I think my uncle died at that time, so I think I was in Tennessee.
I think you actually had a family. I think the ultimate real
Yeah.
reason you couldn't go is because, like, even then, because it was still the very early stages where people go, shit's going down, but we don't know how serious it is, and it's been at that point in time, it was very contained in very certain areas versus as widespread as it became. So. But yeah, no. For a mentalism thing, so I actually did it. I actually have a board which I have to remake now, so I bring it with me. But like it's rat traps 4x4, and they're actually professional grade rat traps because I had to find a very specific type of rat trap to make this work. And so I'm blind. All those traps are live except for one. I would bring somebody on stage. I would blindfold myself, and then I would have somebody just like randomly pick one of the cards or rat traps, and I would try to guide them blindly to the one that won't go off.
Oh my, that's awesome.
See, if it goes well, everybody cheers because I hit the one that doesn't go off. If it goes poorly, which it has before, it actually happened at the Hoot. Then my name gets trapped by the rat trap. And still people are entertained because either way they're still seeing a thing. It's a win-win situation always for the audience. So I do stuff like that. I do a smash stab routine, which similar thing. Where basically it's like a nail, like a big 9-inch nail that I have on a board, and then I put it in a paper, like 3 paper bags, and I have an audience member do 3 card Monty on it while I'm turned away, and then my goal is to throw my hand on the bags that do not have that nail, like a Russian roulette sort of thing.
That one, oh my god, that kills me. Ugh.
Yeah,
I do so many things with my hands. My whole thought of like if I slam, like that's awful.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, spoiler alert, and actually I'm announcing this now because I actually got the chance. I'm actually going to be performing for the first time live.
I thought you was like, look at the hands, the stigmata.
Actually, I do have a little scar here, so things have gone wrong. But I caught myself before I got hit really hard because I figured, But I'm actually going to be doing that particular stunt next month for my first show here in New York. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Very exciting.
They asked me what I wanted to do. I go. Well, what would you like me to do? Like more sideshow? Or you want me to do mentalism? They go. You do. They knew I kind of. They go. I want to. Because all the people around here have only seen me do sideshow stuff because I'm walking around with a jacket and I have like 10 mouse traps in my pockets at all times. And so I went.
I mean, I've got 3 swords in my car too, so I get it.
Yeah, so like I get a little bar because I do shots with the mouse trap on my tongue, and it gets me free drinks all night at the bar. So.
I like to make the joke that I started doing the blockhead with the cocktail straw because I didn't want creepy people talking to me at the bar.
That's fair.
Sometimes it works, but then even the best creepy ones start actually talking to me. The creepiest one, and one that I'm still like, I hope one day he will find me again. I was working at Beetle House in DC, which that was only around for like 3 months. That was a whole thing in and of itself. But I was working there for 3 months, and I was one of the most consistent used performers because sideshow, I had a whole rack of shit that they could use. I also know how to MC, so I did that. Anyhow, what was it? Trying to remember now.
Dude, straw nose. Yeah.
Dude, straws. Yes. Okay. So I was I said, hey, do you want to see something weird? Stuck a straw in my nose. And then he was like, oh, He pulls it out of my nose and then sticks it immediately into his own nose. And I was just like,
Marry me now.
oh my. Oh my. I was monogamous at the time. So I was like, oh, this is terrible. Why? But, que sera, sera.
Yeah, I don't do like I have a weird gag reflex. I don't do much blocking. I'm training myself slowly,
Yeah.
but like literally, as I stick it too far, I gag.
Oh,
Anything too far, yeah. So it's like I have a really weird gag reflex. So it's like that's the
interesting.
thing. Is like, yeah, I know. It's like I can never do. I like probably the likelihood of me doing sword swallowing is very small. Despite the fact that DIckulous, my friend, keeps insisting that I need to learn. But I just keep going, no, Gigi, it's not going to happen.
Mm-mm. I don't know. I'm so like envious. All the sideshow shit that I ended up doing, I'm self-taught for the most part. The only thing that I really feel like I was taught was just 2 pieces of advice that I got from Johnny Fox, which were how to find your sword and then also how to practice.
Yeah.
And it was only then that I was able to move on. But literally, I've never even met Johnny in person. And, rest in peace, Johnny. But like,
Yeah.
it was still one of those like, man, he literally did just two pieces of advice that everything changed for me. And I've never met him. Still boggles my mind.
I never got the chance either, but yeah, I've seen film. Everybody I know everybody I know who are the people you need to know, sort of people in the sideshow, have always spoken very kindly of him. So it's unfortunate.
I thought it was really funny. I went to a juggling club recently down here, the juggling club, it's a really terrible pun. So juggling club down here in New Orleans, where I'm hanging out for the summer. And I told the jugglers that I'm a swords follower. And then one of them, he was like, oh, have you ever done busking out in the quarter? And I was like, no, I'm not brave enough for that. Too many variables all around me that I don't want to do that. And then he was like, oh, well, I do that. And I'm like, well, you're unicycling and juggling. It's a little bit different. But he was also like, he very like plainly put it to me. He was like, well, swords followers are kind of like, they're major gatekeepers. Like, do you ever teach? And I'm like, no, I actually don't teach because I'm self-taught. So I don't know how to teach somebody because I did it myself. I don't know how to do that, and I'm not comfortable doing it. And then I realized, like, I wonder if it's more than just like the whole gatekeepy element of things, but like I posited to it that and maybe sword swallowers don't want to teach not because they're gatekeeping, but because it's scary. Like I've had friends that have almost died doing this, and I don't really want to teach anybody to do a thing like, number one, could take gigs from me, and two, I don't want to see my friends die. Like, I don't like it. It's not great. Like, if I can prevent them from doing that, then why not?
Well, that's very fair. Like, as am I, other than a couple of pointers on how to do some stuff, I've taught myself how to do almost everything I've done so far. The one thing I do, that the other thing I do is glass eating, and people ask me to teach them glass eating all the time. I go, I can, but it's dumb.
Yeah,
it is a dumb thing. Like,
it's literally a thing not recommended for anybody.
Like talking to Todd Robbins, talking to Todd, and because he teaches a lot of most of these arts too, except for glass eating, because in the end. It's dumb. It ruins. My teeth already suck, which is the only reason why I decided to do it. Because they're already bad. What's making them good? They're going to just get slightly bad quicker. So it's. But I don't do it that often.
That's one of the reasons I never wanted to.
But it's fine. But it's one of those things I like having that little thing in my pocket. It's funny talking to other sideshow people, like I go, yeah, I do glassing, and they go, you're doing that shit? I go, Yeah, I don't do it often.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's like, but I'll do it, and it's the fact is nobody else does it really makes it nice and handy on my part, so I can get
Yeah.
booked for gigs.
Like
But
watch the living dummy on stage. Yum 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 yum.
yeah, or I'm also the opinion that even if multiple people in the same area can do similar stunts, they're going to do them differently because of how their experiences are. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so that's why I don't mind. Like for example, even if there were other people doing glass eating, that's fine. How they do it is different than how I do it. I tell a story as I'm doing stuff, so that's why my stuff is different than maybe somebody else who just wants to do like a weird silent pantomime while eating other stuff, like Chip Rascal from the Finnegan Circus does a really good glass eating routine, but it's very
Oh
different than
man.
what I do.
Oh,
So,
I can't imagine it.
but yeah, no, it's for anybody watching this, I do not recommend glass eating. It is a dumb thing to do. I'm
Excellent.
a
I will not.
Yeah. Well, anybody have like another? Here's the other thing. Like now it's me looking out into the audience who can see me. Uh, I'm not doing this as kayfabe or anything like that. You can learn anything else. If you want to learn how to do anything else, I can direct you to the people to talk to about getting all that stuff. But glass eating is just the
You know,
thing that no.
I
But like,
got an
you want to learn how
idea.
to
I
sword
got an
swallow? I know.
idea.
What's up?
So you tell people they want to learn how to eat glass, right? And it's like, so you want to engage in the geek acts. These are things, or like things that you're swallowing, like a glommer act. Okay, so let's get you into Geek 101 then. You're going to have to start by eating worms. Watch people like fall out immediately, like, no, I don't want to eat worms. And then they're never going to ask you about learning how to eat glass.
I won't eat worms.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
You
but I
tell
don't.
them that they gotta go eat worms. That's
I'm
it.
not.
You
I'm
don't have
also.
to
I'm just.
do it. Just tell them to do
No,
it.
it's part of the like it's yeah, probably. Yeah, I would talk to people like I've had one performer ask me about it, and I go, really? They go, I really want to do this sort of thing. I go, it's a burlesque performer. I go, all right, cool. I mean, I can teach you, but you probably want to do it this way, anyways, for the act, which I can do, but which basically using using a different method of doing stuff that doesn't require proper glass eating. I go, you can do it this way if you're just doing it for the act. Now, if you want to learn it as part of your repertoire, as it were, I mean, I can teach you. I just think it's dumb. I just learn any other circus sideshow art. It's going to be a lot better for you in the long
Yeah,
run.
it's literally just engaging in self harm on stage. Like that's kind
Yeah.
of. I don't know. I've seen some pincushion acts that have just kind of like made me think of like, why are we just self harm on stage?
There are definitely some acts out there. They're on stage working through some shit like in their head versus trying to perform, and you can tell. And that's those acts I'm not really big on. I mean, if you're there to entertain. So if you're there just to do like you're in your head doing weird, just
they will see my art.
But if you like, it's not about that. It's about entertaining. The other audience doesn't care. All they care about is being entertained. You're just trying. Yeah, you're just trying to one up yourself for your own ego, not for the audience sake. So
the audience literally does not care, not in the slightest.
It's the like bed of nails.
They don't,
like people.
They don't care. 7 versus 13 swords. They don't care. No.
Once you go, once it goes beyond 3. Once you go beyond 3, people are just gonna be amazed regardless what the number is. Or they're just gonna be amazed regardless of the number. Whether you do 4 or 14, they're gonna get the same reaction. So the only person I know that does the only person I know that can do multiple swords that makes it look dynamic is Captain Maybell. Everybody else who does multiple swords, you're gonna go once you get beyond 3. That's fine, cool. They're the only ones that make it
it's
more
impressive,
dynamic.
I guess.
Yeah, but it's especially when it's like this much of. But in the end, it's this much of the act. But it's still then what's my humble opinion about this sort of stuff? If that's what you like doing, then do it. But just understand that
Yeah.
look at stuff from the audience perspective on things versus like how
Yes. Oh my
that's
God.
that's ultimately that's what I always try to go and talk to people about, like various different arts, whether it's musicians. I talk to burlesquers. I talk to variety art, like I call variety artists beyond just sideshow. That's I go like because theater degree. I tell people, I go, you need to pay attention to what the audience is seeing and what makes it worthwhile, because that's ultimately is what you're getting at it. Because they're gonna tip based on what they enjoy, and if you notice, you know what, you're gonna get more of a reaction. Like this is like I get more of a reaction from doing this on my tongue than I'll probably do almost anything else I did. I say that, but the eyebrow gets people a lot. So.
Well, I think a lot of people like they haven't like had an eyebrow piercing or they haven't had any like sort of injury. Meanwhile, a lot of people have like bit their tongue, so it's something that they can viscerally relate to.
Yeah,
like a lot of people, they look at sword swallowing and they're like, "Oh, I remember the feeling of swallowing something or choking on something, whatever that thing may be." But you know, and so they look at it and they feel that autonomic response because they're like, "Oh, I remember how that felt." Like,
well, yeah,
it's wild.
No, it's sword swallowing has always amazed me. But once again, because of my weird ass gag reflex, it was unlikely. Like I pushed my tongue too far back in my mouth and I gagged. That's how bad it is.
Wow.
So that's just how it is. I've been working on it. It's getting better. There's like a stunt I want to do involving a fish hook that requires being in my mouth, but it pushes like it's like one of those big fish hooks, and it just I have to train my gag reflex to get better, so that way I can do this fish hook routine. And I'm not talking about a meat hook. I'm not doing any of that shit.
Oh, you want some chicken? Sorry, my friend is by.
Hi, friend.
Okay, your podcast. All right. Actually, she's a funny circumstance. My friend Anastasia, she it turns out, so new friend, I met her through, do you know Jules, Bad Juju the clown?
Oh yeah, I know Juju. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm at the bar.
Juju,
yeah, I'm at the bar that she bartends at. She's not here right now, but Anastasia and I are friends with her. And so Jules introduces me to Anastasia, and then we're like, or Anastasia mentions in passing, she's like, "Oh, I grew up in the DC area," and I'm like, mention more specifically, where in the DC area? And I'm just like, and so she tells me, "Oh, you know, you're probably not there, like this," and I was like, "Well, I'm from Silver Spring," and she was like, "No, what? You're from Silver Spring?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I am." Turns out that if she had chosen to go to the different if she had not chosen to go to a different high school, we would have been pretty much in the same graduating class and like probably same homeroom kind of a thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, wow, how did we like parallel to each other but never intersect? It was weird. But anyway, we've decided that we've decided that we're both the evil twin because nobody said there's a rule saying there has to be a good one. So
oh no, it just means you're quadruplets, and so there are two really good ones somewhere out there. They're probably paired up, like, you know, curing like some weird cancer or something.
Probably. We have to be extra bad in order for them to be extra good. That's really what happens.
That's really how it works. That's what I said. They're curing some weird cancer. I don't know. So.
But I love her. I love her so much because she's been encouraging me to do my pivot and going out and doing open mics. So I've been trying to take a step into comedy. And it's been kind of cool. Like I ended up one of the comedians that I absolutely love. His name is Ryan Rogers, aka the gay one. So it's really like the comedy scene is a lot of white dudes. At least the shows that I've been going to, or the open mics I've been going to, there's a lot of cis white dudes. And I think it's kind of funny. Like, they'll make jokes about like, y'all, somebody pointed out to me that I used an incorrect pronoun for somebody. I think that's rather brave for you to say because I don't even realize what a pronoun is. So, that kind of a thing. It's like, yeah, guys, like, what the hell? Like, this is why. But it's been so much fun. Ryan, I ended up seeing him the other day, and he was like, "Ridiculous." I was like, "What? You know who I am now? Why?" But, I keep on trying to come up on stage. The bit that I've been working on is, I'm used to going up on stage, but usually I've got this big ass sword with me. The way that, if I have a prop, if I have something that I can show that I'm a badass, then that's one thing. But if I come up on stage and all I've got are my jokes, the things that I have crafted in my brain and I have brought out onto the stage, and the people don't laugh, well, that means that they just don't like me. And that's like the most terrifying thing of all. It's just like, yeah, I go out and it takes a lot of bombing, and I've been doing my fair share. So but at the same time, nobody's been telling me that I've been bombing. I just feel like I've been bombing. So I think it's necessary in that respect. At least there isn't the risk of me dying. So that's a nice thing.
That's very true. Like I think that last week, the weekend before closed down for the Hoot, Thursday night I got in, and I went running around with Cyclone Jack Sullivan because he was in town too, and I think we hit an open mic, and I ended up doing like 5 minutes, like my 5 minute bit with because I was like, all right, cool, it's an open mic. Reason I'm here is I'm in town for the Southern Side Show, and like I was hyping. Basically, I got into hype mode for the show just to get people to buy tickets. And so literally I did 5 minutes with them. I had like 3 mousetraps in my pocket. I literally did like 5 minutes off the top of my head of just about mousetrap gags and just doing jokes.
But did you actually do the mousetrap on the stage?
Yeah.
The open mic?
Yeah.
Okay. Right on. Yeah, I talk about my shit. I don't do it on the comedy stage though, so it's just one of those. Like, they have to take my word for it, or
no, it's because it's an easy thing. So like that, and then I always tend to go, hey, make sure you come out and do stuff, and I go, yeah, make sure you come out. And I go, I'll even show you guys how the best way to take a shot. And I don't have an alcohol drink. So I'm going to keep talking about stuff until another one gets here. Hint, 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 and get a free drink out of it.
Nice.
And then literally I'll end it with like the mousetrap on my tongue, and I'll do the shot with the mousetrap on my tongue.
Very cool.
And then I'll step away, and people go, do you really did that? I go, yeah. Can I see it again? I go, I would, but I don't have a drink. Then suddenly another drink happens.
Nice.
That's really it is like that's always that's why like my mousetrap gag with doing shots is gets me from having to pay a bar tab.
That's awesome.
And apparently nobody else really does it. So I thought that was kind of weird that in all of Sideshow, nobody was doing shots with mousetraps on their tongue. And so
I don't know. I think I don't know. I've never tried doing mousetrap before, which seems odd. But the thing is, like, I'm too paranoid about hitting my teeth. That's one of the reasons why, like, I wasn't doing fire for the longest time, was because I was like, oh, I don't want the enamel on my teeth that my parents paid so much money for. I don't want to do that. No.
Yeah, I just don't like being hot. That's the only reason. That's why I don't do fire. That's
why you moved away from Houston.
That's why I'm happy to be here. But like I don't like the idea of that flame that close. I'm just going, I just makes me feel hot. I'm just not interested. Just cool. Everybody else does it. I'm here. Like I hang out with Keita St. Cyr a lot up here, and she does a lot of fire stuff.
Oh, cool.
I think she's slowly trying to. I think she hasn't like given me the hard push for it yet, but I'm waiting for her to go, all right, cool. So I'm going to teach you how to do a thing. I'm just going, I don't want to learn a thing. I mean, I say this, and there's going to be a bit where I go, all right, cool. I have an idea to do a fire thing that will make it not mine. That's the only reason why I haven't done most of these sideshow stunts. The reason I haven't done it is because I go, well, somebody already does it, and they do it better than I would do it. So until I think of a new way to do the thing, I just watch their thing, and I don't want to do like it's like. I don't want to do the same routine everybody else does when it comes to these classic bits. Like, there's the there is the classic blockhead bit that everybody does. which I don't front because I get why, because it came from
Like
the
first
creator.
Sideshow Hootenanny with the Night of 1,000 Blockheads.
Yeah, it's literally it's 90% of it's the Melvin Burkhart routine, which I'm fine with. I get it. But also, if I can get myself tried for blockade, I want to do my own gag. There's a lot of people who do some.
Now I want somebody to do like a speed version of Melvin Burkhart's like bit and just like get it down to be like 2 minutes. It's like what? Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure Captain Darren Von Awesome from Tinderbox probably be down for that. Yeah, I think he'd be down. And then there's a certain sword swallowing routine that I see a lot done by the same routines done by a lot of people, which is fine. Once again, but a lot of these people are quote unquote accomplished sword swallowers, and they're all doing the same bit, which is the old classic size sword swallowing bit. But all right, cool. I'm gonna swallow my sword. I'm gonna reach down. I'm gonna wink at you. I'm gonna pull it out.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen the classic sword swallower bit because I don't know. I hang out with a lot of burlesque shows, and one of the reasons why I started sword swallowing was because I'm not very good at taking my clothes off slowly. So I was like, all right, yeah. I'm just like, oh, I'm naked. Wait, that wasn't the goal? No? We could do it again.
You should do the reverse. You should go to start naked and put the clothes on. There is the reverse burlesque. So.
That's also I just look unpleasant, upset the whole time. Like, why do I have to put my clothes back on?
That's a bit. That is a good bit, though. That would be a good bit or something. Yeah.
That would be a good bit. Right.
Yeah, no, I've known a couple of I saw somebody do the classic one twice. I've seen two people do the classic sword swallowing bit at the Hootenanny, and then when I was in Las Vegas back in January of 2020, I went and saw a show that had a sword swallower in it, and he did that person expanded, did a few other things, but that whole thing was, I will swallow the sword, I will look down, I will wink at you. That is your sign to pull the sword out slowly. The exact pattern. It's the exact same one I've seen from three different people. So I call it the classic one. It's probably the same teacher is teaching all those people that same bit. Yeah.
There goes my ride. Sorry, there goes my ride.
I gotta go. I say that all the time. Every time I hear an ambulance too, I go, "All right, cool, I gotta go."
That wasn't an ambulance. That was the police. Anyway.
That was the I do, if I hear sirens, I always go, "Help! Time to get on the road here." It just 9 times out of 10 is always an ambulance, which is still fair. It get me through traffic out of the way. But yeah, the classic, the sword swallowing bit. My guess is they probably all had the same teacher who taught them the same thing. But you know what? It's great to know the classics.
That's why I'm so glad that I'm self-taught. I've never seen anybody else do it in a classic way, and so I didn't have a format. I had to kind of come up with something on my own, and that's how the birthday bit was born.
Okay.
Along with birthdays. You didn't get a chance to see me do that for my birthday performance at the Hootenanny. No, I'm kidding.
No.
So I developed this act a while back. I don't even remember the first time that I did it, but I realized I was like, oh shit, I've got a lot of family members that have weird holiday birthdays, including myself. I was born on April Fool's Day, no joke.
Yeah.
Right?
Hence why you're ridiculous.
Realsies.
Yeah.
Exactly. One of the reasons. But there are many reasons. I'm coming up with a whole bunch of comedy bits for that. Anyhow, follow me for more info. Anyway, but let's see. So I was born on April Fool's Day, no joke. All my family members are born on weird holiday birthdays. For instance, my mother was born on Mother's Day. And my father was born on Father's Day. And my brother, well, he was born on a day in September that we're never going to forget. Labor Day.
Yeah. Hey, that's good. That's good.
What? You thought it was a different joke, right? Yeah. All right. Good. I thought you would never forget. Excellent.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yep.
No, that's a good bit. That's a good bit. I like that.
and it's based out of truth. Like all my family, like so many of my family members have weird holiday birthdays. I have a cousin that was born on Christmas Eve. My aunt was born on Friday the 13th, gave birth to my cousin who was born on Halloween. So it's just one of those like, and ironically enough, her last name is Sweet, which I think is really literally SWEET.
There you go.
Yeah, this is why I go by Ridiculous, because I'm just like, there's no way. There's also another reason why I started going by Ridiculous, and I'm becoming more comfortable with it. And it's that my last name is kind of like my legal last name is kind of weird. It's actually Crye, CRYE, kind of like John Cryer, but no R on the end, right? And so I decided that I just wanted to be, a person. I wanted to laugh or I'd cry.
Well, hey,
the whole Pagliacci shit. Anyway,
that's you got some bones there. You got some bones.
Some
to figure
bones.
that out. To flesh that out for a bit. There's something there.
I'm still working on it.
There's something there.
I gotta laugh or I'll cry.
Yeah. It's just figuring out whether that's a bit for comedy or using that as a bit for doing some of the more sideshow stuff. One of the two, because you can kind of play off the sympathy route, go more with like doing a sideshow thing, but you can workshop a little bit more to figure out where the punchline is for that a little bit harder and hit a little harder punch to do for comedy. Or you workshop on doing sideshow with it until you figure out what the tagline is, and then you shift it over.
Yeah, it seems like that was my big major, like, to spend all my time on stage and doing sideshow shit, and then it's like, oh, now I have to harvest those jokes and deliver them out to the comedy world. Like, I'm on to you. I'm listening.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's the idea. So sometimes you on both sides you're workshopping the spoken word bit. So whatever bombs on the comedy stage may work, revamp it and be less funny, and may work for the sideshow and vice versa. So you have a way to workshop both your acts in different ways. That's cool. I literally all I do is my writing for the shows I do on here. Like I've written 80 monologues in the past year and a half. I do like a late night talk show thing, and so like I do like jokes that some are good, some are not, but they're all very topical, just like a late night talk show. And so my next foray is to get into doing things like open mics and stuff like that, and kind of learn that pattern. Although mine's more from like learning storytelling wise, because that's how I like my own way of doing things is like telling a story versus just that. And bump. I mean, I can do but we all have our own way of doing stuff. But the comedians I know, they said as long as you do all your comedy an element of truth, the audience will be on board. So the fact is, you're using your family stuff. Good, because that's a mine you can dig for years when it comes to comedy. So
yeah. Just family routines and stuff. Yeah, I keep thinking like I'm going to be moving back up to Maryland at the end of this month. Moving back in with my parents, it's the millennial dream, But I'm okay with it. I'm thinking that I might end up being kind of a vagabond type of a person and just figure out where I'm supposed to be exactly. But I'm really looking forward to like my dad, really hammering down on my what's the word? My ego, just telling me that I ain't shit all the time. So that'll be great. I told him he called me a chicken shit in high school, and that's why I am the way I am now. It's his fault, not mine.
That's spoken like a true millennial. Hey!
I know, right? His fault, not mine.
All right, so if you decide to do a bit about moving back into your parents, you'd say it's the millennial retirement plan. Moving back in with your parents. I think that'd be a better line.
Millennial retirement plan, yes. Okay, I'm keeping that, yeah.
No, that is yours, because I am not a millennial, so I can't use that. So, but I'm happy to give you that line. I go, yep, moved back in with my parents. The millennial retirement plan.
Millennial. Yes, I'm so excited about that. I am really actually excited to move back in with my folks. They gave me paperwork for my birthday a couple of years. Actually, it was during 2020. They gave me paperwork so that I would be their last care provider. So and my mom didn't tell me that she was going to do that for my dad as well. My dad, he and I, we've got a weird relationship, not obviously not just because, I am the way I am, but like, but also just like, I don't know, I'm looking forward because, my mom back in April for my birthday, she suggested that I should do a virtual show. And I told her, okay, that sounds like a great idea, but only if you're going to be in it. And so my parents and my brother agreed that they were going to be in a virtual show that we filmed on our front porch with some of our friends and neighbors. Hot Todd Lincoln made an appearance, which I was so grateful for. If he had not been there, then my dad would have been very much meaner to me, I think. But then also I had a magician friend of mine. His name is Karush. And I thought it was really great to be able to have him there because my parents introduced me to him. He's actually an Iranian guy. And he was like, I just needed a profession that would disappoint my Middle Eastern parents the most. And I thought it was great. The jokes that he brought to the stage whenever I was working at Beetle House, he would say, what is it? Well, I hope you all like my jokes because nobody likes it when an Iranian bombs on stage. Yeah. Thing is, this is in DC. It's good. It's in DC and there are a lot of white folks there. So I was just kind of like, so dude, I've been told that your joke is funny, but if you're going to use it, you need to come up with something else. And so he was like, okay, if I can keep the joke, I have a follow-up for it. And I was like, okay, go ahead. So he says, Iranian bomb on stage. Yeah, I get a lot of fallout for that joke.
Nice.
Nice. But yeah, it's just being able to like do a performance. And that was also the first time that my parents got a chance to see me sword swallow and blockhead. And it was really cool. And we filmed it and then streamed it live on my birthday. And it was really cool. Yeah.
Something was finally... Yeah, I meant to watch that, but I got something else was going on exactly the same time.
I mean, it's April Fool's Day. A lot of shit going on all the time. I mean, it's the shittiest birthday. Honestly, I hate it. Like, if I could trade, I probably would be a different person.
Yeah, but... my understanding is, I heard Christmas kind of sucks.
Yep.
So. My late wife, her birthday about every 4 or 5 years becomes Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving moves, and so she can never have birthdays because everybody was out of town for their family always, and so her birthdays always suck. So
similar
I get it.
For me.
My birthday.
I got spring break.
Yeah, my birthday's in August, so there's nothing around me except just hot. So there's no holidays in August.
Are you calling yourself hot, Geoff?
No, the month is hot.
I know.
I don't consider myself anything. Maybe that's.
You're all right. I was teasing. No worries.
Okay, no worries. Well, you know what? We only got like 10 minutes left. I can believe that.
Not at all.
No, yeah.
Time flies, right?
That's the idea of the show. It's just us having a chat and stuff like that. And there are people watching, like Lex is watching. There's a couple of people kind of like lurching, which is okay. Here's the cool thing is this gets to play for a couple weeks on the channel, so people watch it later. So a lot of times people watch this later. So hello, people watching it later. We appreciate you watching. But if you watch live, you could ask questions and be involved. But fine either way. It's all good.
I got
it just means
answers.
You got they may not be good answers, but they're answers.
Yes,
That's usually how I think of I can tell you a thing. I don't know if it's right, but I'll make it believe that I'm saying is right. I mean, I learned from the Republican Party. I know how to talk shit and make it look like it makes it worthwhile. Hey, uh, uh, it's the funny thing is like when all this stuff started happening politically speaking, there were a lot of performer friends like they were trying to be like so politically neutral. Initially, first they started out being politically neutral because they were afraid about losing gigs, and I just went, if they don't follow, I mean, as long as they're cool, I'm cool. We can defer an opinion. I'm going to be open about what I think. If they can't handle that, that's on them, not on me. But if I don't mind losing a gig because their politics are different than mine because they chose that, not me. Except for
Yeah.
the weird right to life baby charity, Catholic baby charity that wanted to hire me, and I told them I wouldn't be a good fit for you guys. I'm just going to be upfront.
No.
I'm not going to be. I mean, I was
That's
very
kind of
polite about it.
amazing though. Like I would bring my clothes hanger specifically for that. Like
No, I mean they reached out to me because to like host like this huge thing. It was like 3.5 hours long to be the host for a thing. And I went, and it was going to be decent money, but it was like for a big charity event. And I went. At first, they were just going, all right, cool, like for a charity event. I go, all right, I'm down for charity. What charity? Because I mean, I'm in Texas. Charity. There's so many gamut of charities. They go, yeah, we're this right to life Catholic, charity, and I went, I'm not going to be a good fit for you guys. I mean, I can clean my language up. It's fine. I don't have to fucking cuss. It's fine. I don't have to drink on I don't have to fucking drink on stage. It's all good. No, I'd be the professional, but I just couldn't. So in the end, I go, well, no, I'm probably on the polar opposite end of what you guys believe in. So I'm just going to respect it. But I was very respectful about it. I go, I'm sorry, we're just not going to get fixed. But good luck with your event. Because if it helps people, they were also very nice in return. So I go, all right, cool, that's common ground. But a lot of
that's
people.
kind of how I felt about getting hired for some Unitarian Universalists. It's like, well, you guys are more closer to where I'm at, but at the same time, you're just godly enough that it's kind of awkward for me. So me, the atheist, I'm like, you're asking me about God, and I don't wanna.
Oh, but I'm the other person. I go, I mean, when I'm on the clock, I just won't talk about it. But I go off the clock. All right, cool. You want to discuss it? Because I also atheist. I'm an atheist because I read all the books. That's why I chose it, because I read it. Did you? Because if you really read it, I don't. Okay. I say this, and then one of my really good friends who actually lives in just outside of Baltimore in Lowell is an Episcopalian priest. He's a really good friend of mine, and we always chat that we're Dawkins and the Archbishop of Canterbury, because Richard Dawkins and the Archbishop of Canterbury are really good friends, and they have tea all the time. So we always joke that that's what we are, is because we're going. We both by talking to each other, we reaffirm what we believe, and so it's really funny.
Right on, that's fair.
But we also are willing.
I've got a couple of conservative friends that are kind of like that for me.
I mean, I'm willing to have.
Ironically enough, they're hippies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, ironically enough, they're hippies, like hardcore hippies, and it's like, wow. Anyway,
it's like that. It's like we're really left, except for when it comes to these weird issues, and suddenly they're very right wing. I'm going, why? That makes okay. I know several people like that too. I get it.
Yep.
But and with our previous president has learned us that should not suffer fools lightly, as it were, and so a lot of our more ambiguous
suffering fools heavily all the time. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm glad that a lot of the one is a lot of our more ambiguous, like our more, I don't want to say like politically neutral performers can't be so. or rather, they're letting their stuff be open because it needs to be.
Hmm.
I don't care if I lose out on a gig because I don't fit vibe wise politically. I'll find another one. I'm not going to take your money. It's like I like the idea of taking somebody's money regardless. It's not my gig. So
Yeah,
I don't
I
want
feel that.
that they have your much money. That's why all the good artists are on the left. That's why like only people like Kid Rock are there on the right, which is
Mm,
horrible. Anyway, we got like
a
five
lot
minutes
of
to go.
country stars.
Yeah, there are also a lot of country stars that are very left too. I mean,
Hmm. Wow. Yeah,
hey,
yeah, you're right.
yeah. Oh, hey, Sally Cinch. Hey, Sally Cinch is in the thing. Hey, Sally.
Hey,
Yeah,
Sally!
she says she misses you. Well, guess what, Sally? She's coming your way soon.
Heading back up in September.
Yeah, so there you go. Which puts you a short jaunt from,
Holla.
yeah, and just a short jaunt from me as well. So, uh,
Yep. And I have reasons to go up to New York for a couple, so I'm happy to come up and hang out.
sure, always welcome. All right, we got a
Yeah.
couple minutes. Yeah, we got a couple minutes left. Is there anything you would like to plug specifically? I've got your Instagram underneath your face. So, anything else you'd like to plug?
Um, honestly, like I don't have any gigs going on. I don't have any shows or performances or anything like that. I don't have like a shop for people to buy shit, but I've been playing around. Like I have an OnlyFans, like there's that. But then I don't know. Like I'm trying to figure out still what exactly I'm going to be trying to do in terms of performance and making money with it.
Fair.
But yeah, I don't know. Hire me. I do a great birthday bit.
There you go. Right there.
Basically,
Yeah.
I don't know.
There you go. You can mess it like you get it right underneath the name. You follow her at DIckulous on the Instagram, which is right there. I'm sure you can DM her and figure out that stuff from there.
Thank you so much
So,
for having me.
oh, of course, you're welcome anytime. We had a great time hanging out initially, and I've always had a great time talking with you. Every time we saw saw each other in person, and then we were the Hoot was doing the online weekly chats. Whenever you popped on, it was great seeing you there and chatting with you there. I even loved your bit that you did when we did the pass the card routine. It was always a great time. You're one of my favorite people, Ree. I dig you a lot.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Let me get my plugs out of the way, then we're gonna get out of here.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
so next week is my birthday week. Actually, weirdly enough. Yeah, I'm just saying. So on Tuesday, which is the 17th, Scabs and I will be doing Gaffing the Truth right here on the Carney Show, and we're going to be talking about Aleister Crowley. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're like Gaffing the Truth, all talking about the weird shit. So he's a weird dude. So we're going to talk about the weird shit about Aleister Crowley. And then on Wednesday, weird shit. Yeah, it's a technical term. Weird shit. On Wednesday, the 18th, is my proper birthday. August the 18th is my birthday. So I've got the Devil's Hour, which I'm having a special birthday edition of my birthday. I've got some really cool, weird acts I'm going to be showcasing. It's going to be a lot of fun stuff like that. And then on the 19th, here for the G Spot, I've got the one and only amazing burlesque performer all the way from England, Pinky DeVille. So Pinky's she's amazing. I've known her for a couple of years now. Also a lot of fun. And she's moving to New Orleans, and so it's really funny.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so I'm going to be chatting with her about her move and stuff like that. We've known each other for years, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's going to be a lot of fun otherwise. So everybody, thank you guys for tuning in. I completely appreciate it. Ree completely appreciate it. So be safe, be cool, and be groovy. And as always, keep drinking.